Namaste everyone. At the very outset, I would like to express my pleasure and privilege to be with you in this evening, and also I would like to beg your pardon for my bad voice. So, yesterday only I was remembering one of the sayings of Swamiji that I found in a compilation of his words. It was compiled by Harshanandaji in a small book, and it goes like this: they alone live who live for others. And yet again, in connection to that, I remember another saying of Swamiji that comes, of course, in the complete work and also in a book, Swami Vivekananda on himself, compilation of his words by the Advaita Ashram. And the book ends by the sayings of Swamiji that it may be that I shall find it good to get outside of my body, to cast it off like a disused garment. But I shall not cease to work. I shall inspire men everywhere until the world realizes it is one with God. So we understand that Swamiji hasn't stopped inspiring men who are amongst with us this evening on the dais. People like Mr. Srinivas Venkatram, who would be the recipient of the Vivekananda Award, late Mr. Shikha Roy, and Dr. H.N. Muralidhara, would be receiving the Sister Nivedita Award, and late Dr. Shikha Roy, who would be receiving the Vivekananda Medal. And to do the honor, of course, we have on the stage revered General Secretary Maharaj of the Ramakrishna Mutt and Ramakrishna Mission, Srimat Swami Suviranandaji, and the Secretary of this institute, Srimat Swami Suparnandaji Maharaj. With him, we have Sri Shakti Prasad Mishra, the designated authority for the Sister Nivedita chair. So, without any further delay, we would request the monastic members of the institute to begin today's evening with the Vedic chanting.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Medha Devi Jushamana Nagad Vishvachi Bhadra Sumanasya Tvaya Jushta Nudamana Duruktan Brihadvadema Vidate Suvira Tvaya Jushta Rishir Bhavati Devi Tvaya Brahma Gata Shri Rutatvaya Tvaya Jushtas Chitram Vindate Vasusano Jushasvadravino Namedhe Medham Indro Dadatu Medhan Devi Saraswati Medham me Ashvina Bhubhava Dhattam Pushkarasraja Apsarasu Chaya Medha Gandharveshu Chayan Manaha Daivi Medha Saraswati Samam Medha Surabhir Jushataga Swaha Amam Medha Surabhir Vishvarupa Hiranyavarna Jagati Jagamya Urijaswati Payasa Pinvamana Samam Medha Supratika Jushantam Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
Now the felicitation. We'll begin our felicitation episode with revered Srimat Swami Suviranandaji Maharaj. Revered Swami Suviranandaji Maharaj. Then Mr. Srinivas Venkatram, recipient of the Vivekananda Award. Mrs. Shikha Roy, wife of late Mr. S.K. Roy, who would be receiving the Vivekananda Medal on his behalf. Mr. H.N. Muralidhara is the recipient of Sister Nivedita Award. And not to forget Sri Shakti Prasad Mishra, our beloved Shaktida. I would now request Swami Suparnanandaji to deliver his address of welcome.
Om Jananing Sharadang Deving Ramakrishnan Jagat Gurum Padapadmitayo Sritva Pranamami Murmu. So we always feel proud to hold this function, especially this function. After 2 years, sometimes it becomes 3 years. In any way, we are very much intent on holding this particular function with proper significance, importance realized in our hearts. And why? That would be clear from the discussions that would follow. Subsequently, I welcome in our midst most revered Srimat Swami Suviranandaji, the General Secretary of the Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission, to be in our midst. And it is not easy to get him here always because of his preoccupations. He has to look after the entire affairs of the Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission, being operated all over, world over. So my Sastanga pranams to him. My love and best wishes to Mr. Srinivas Venkatram. He will be receiving Vivekananda Award. I welcome in our midst Dr. H.N. Muralidhara, recipient of Sister Nivedita Award. I welcome Mrs. S.K. Roy. Her name is Shikha Mataji. We are going to award posthumously Vivekananda Medal to Mr. S.K. Roy. Since we lost him last year, we have requested his wife, Mrs. Shikha Roy, to receive the prize, and also Mrs. Debasree Roy Sarkar, his daughter, to give the speech after receiving the award. I also welcome in our midst Shakti Prasad Mishra, holding Vivekananda and Sister Nivedita chair, instituted by this institute. I welcome the family of Mr. S.K. Roy, other dignitaries present, and devotees. I feel I should just tell a little bit about the awardees. Vivekananda Award presented to Mr. Srinivas Venkatram. He's a prolific writer and researcher. He is an alumnus of IIT Bombay BTech and IIM Ahmedabad PGDM. He has also been awarded a D.Litt. honoris causa by the Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Educational and Research Institute, our Vivekananda University, Birunmot, in 2019. In 1996, Srinivas set up Illumine Knowledge Resources, which has since developed into a group of highly qualified professionals dedicated to translating Swami Vivekananda's vision of practical Vedanta into models of human development and education across various sectors in society. So from this you can think of his credibility to be selected as the recipient of Vivekananda Award. We didn't have to search for him very diligently. We could find out easily the person behind all the activities which are known to us. Vivekananda Medal presented posthumously to Mr. S.K. Roy of Peerless Group. Under his dynamic leadership, the Peerless Group transformed itself into a leading business conglomerate with its multi-dimensional presence in sectors such as hospitality, real estate, and healthcare, creating huge employment and self-employment opportunities that steered it to new heights. Besides being a great philanthropist and corporate personality, Mr. Roy was a man of modesty, simplicity, and practical spirituality. The Peerless Group under his tutelage crossed many a frontier in the corporate world and made a permanent mark in the field of social welfare. I personally feel that there is not a single branch center of Ramakrishna Mission working in Bengal who has not been blessed financially by Mr. S.K. Roy. I can cite plenty of examples. It is not necessary right now. Such a great heart he had. Sister Nivedita Award presented to Dr. H.N. Muralidhara. Dr. H.N. Muralidhara, a retired professor of Kannada literature, is a deep thinker, prolific writer, and good speaker in Kannada. His areas of specialization are linguistics, poetics, and philosophy. One of his significant contributions to the Kannada literary field is his poetic translation of the poems of Swami Vivekananda, originally written in English, Bengali, and Sanskrit. Very interesting. I am yet to go through this translation because I tell you, Mr. Muralidhara, Dr. Muralidhara, that I did a similar work on Swamiji. I wrote Swamiji's poems. It's their, possible explanations, both in English and Bengali. Another facet of his contribution to the Ramakrishna Vivekananda literature is the numerous articles that have been published from time to time in various magazines, periodicals, and newspapers. Dr. Muralidhara is making several experiments in incorporating Swamiji's thoughts in educational curricula. Dr. Muralidhara composed several songs on the Holy Trinity, which are being sung during prayer time in many ashrams in Karnataka. In fact, Dr. Muralidhara played a significant role in popularizing Ramakrishna Vivekananda literature among large sections of Kannada-speaking people. This is what we want. We do it, Swamiji, and keep the matter within. We do not propagate it. We do not see it translated into action in society through direct and willful, deliberate participation of the people. So human beings, we do not take them into our confidence to come forward, to work with us. So both of them, Muralidhara and Srinivas, they are intent on popularizing this, making his Swamiji's philosophy practical in day-to-day life, in solving day-to-day life's problems. So that is why they are respected and they have been considered to be the recipients of this honor, this award in the name of Swamiji. Here I may mention one thing. We usually we present Vivekananda Award and Vivekananda Medal. Only 1 year, out of compulsion I should say, we included Sister Nivedita Award. Now that Nivedita's 150th birth centenary was over, we thought it fit that we should also include Nivedita Award along with Swamiji's and hold these three, this function together. This is one thing, to pay homage to Sister Nivedita, who dedicated herself totally for the cause of India. There is another point. So long ago, during, say, Shantanu Dasgupta's time, those who can remember her, he was a professor of economics. So they started Nivedita Broti Sangha. And they contributed a very small amount towards Nivedita Lecture Fund or Nivedita Award Fund. Exactly what it was, I do not know. But they have been pestering, what about that particular award ceremony that we instituted? With such a meager amount, how can we manage to start one program, a huge program like this? But we somehow or other, once we did it, and from now on, we have decided that we can collect some funds towards that award also, Sister Nivedita Award, and these 3 awards and medals would be given jointly in the function after 2 or 3 years gap. This is our intention. So I also welcome the members of Nivedita Broti Sangha, if anyone of them be present over here. Anyone? Is there anyone? Anyone is there? Please raise. 2. Very nice. Oh, very nice. Thank you, thank you. So now you are satisfied, I think. Once again, I offer my pronouns to revered General Secretary Maharaj and my love and best wishes to the recipients, Venkatram and Srinivas, and my regards to Mrs. Shikha Roy. Thank you all.
Now for the blessed moment we all have been waiting for. May I request revered Suviranandaji Maharaj to do the honor of presenting the award to the respective recipient. At the very beginning, Mr. Srinivas Venkatram, who would be receiving the Vivekananda Award of 2022 with a citation and also a cash prize. Mr. Srinivas Venkatram has been selected for the Vivekananda Award for his commendable contribution in promoting the assimilation of Swami Vivekananda's ideas in various sections of the society. And the alumni of IIT Bombay, Sri Srinivas set up Illumine Knowledge Resources, which has since developed into a group of highly qualified professionals dedicated to translating Swami Vivekananda's vision of practical Vedanta. He had received the citation and the cash amount of 2 lakhs. Now, late Mr. S.K. Roy, former managing director of Peerless Group, has been selected posthumously for the Vivekananda Medal for his deep involvement in the universal yoga dharma known as Seva Yoga, introduced by Swami Vivekananda. Mrs. Shikha Roy, wife of late Sri S.K. Roy, should be receiving the Vivekananda Medal. Also a cash prize of 1 lakh.
ওনারটা বলে দিয়েছি না তো তুমি পড়ো না প্রথম তুমি পড়ো না না পড়ো তাহলে পুরোটা পড়িনি আমি
Now, Dr. H.N. Muralidhara would be the recipient of Sister Nivedita Award 2022 and also a cash prize of 1 lakh. Dr. H.N. Muralidhara has been selected for the Sister Nivedita Award for his significant contribution to the Kannada literary field through his poetic translation of the poems of Swami Vivekananda, originally written in English, Bengali and Sanskrit. I would now request Sri Shakti Prasad Mishra to read out the respective citations.
Presentation of the Vivekananda Award to Sri Srinivas Venkataraman by Srimat Swami Suviranandaji Maharaj, General Secretary, Ramakrishna Mott and Ramakrishna Mission, Belur Mott. The citation. The Ramakrishna Mission's job culture has the honor to present the Vivekananda Award 2022 to Sri Srinivas Venkataram of Illumine Knowledge on this 10th day of December of the year 2022 for his commendable contribution in promoting the assimilation of Swami Vivekananda's ideas in various sections of society. An alumnus of IIT Bombay, BTech, and IIM Ahmedabad, he has also been awarded DLIT by the Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Educational and Research Institute, Belur Mott in 2019. The area of his specialization is the design, development and delivery of large-scale knowledge interventions which help organizations and communities adopt new ideals and new ways of thinking and working based on Swamiji's ideas. In 1996, Sri Srinivas set up Illumine Knowledge Resources, which has since developed into a group of highly qualified professionals dedicated to translating Swami Vivekananda's vision of practical Vedanta into models of human development and education across various sections of society. In recognition of his research work on Swami Vivekananda's ideas in the practical field, the Ramakrishna Mission of Culture has immense joy in presenting Sri Srinivas Venkatram the Vivekananda Award 2022. Now the citation: Vivekananda Medal posthumously to Sunil Kanti Rai, Managing Director of PLS Group, by Srimat Swami Suviranandaji Maharaj, General Secretary, Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission, Belur Math. As it is in the citation, the Ramakrishna Mission of Culture confers the Vivekananda Medal for 2022 posthumously on Mr. Sunil Kanti Roy, Managing Director of the PLS Group, on this 10th day of December for the year 2022 in recognition and appreciation of his deep involvement in the universal Yuga Dharma known as Sheba Yoga, introduced by Swami Vivekananda. The PLS thrives on the mantra Bahujana Hitaya, Bahujana Sukhaya. Under the dynamic leadership of Mr. Roy, the PLS transformed itself into a leading business conglomerate with its multi-dimensional presence in sectors such as hospitality, healthcare, real estate, etc., creating huge employment and self-employment opportunities that directed it to reach new heights. The PLS Skill Academy was his brainchild, with an objective to impart skill training to the underprivileged youths in quest of self-reliance. Besides being a great corporate personality, Mr. Roy was a man of compassion, modesty, and practical spirituality. The PLS Group, under his tutelage, crossed many a frontier in the corporate world and made a permanent mark in the field of social welfare. We pray to the Holy Trinity that the departed soul may rest in peace. Sister Nivedita Award presented to Dr. H.N. Muralidhara. The citation: the Ramakrishna Mission of Culture presents with great pleasure the prestigious Sister Nivedita Award 2022 to Dr. H.N. Muralidhara on this 10th day of December of the year 2022 in recognition of his significant contribution to the Kannada literary field through his poetic translation of the poems of Swami Vivekananda, originally written in English, Bengali and Sanskrit. He has also contributed a large number of articles on different facets of education, culture, and spirituality to various magazines, periodicals, and newspapers from time to time. Presently, Dr. Muralidhara is functioning as the academic director of Swami Vivekananda Center for Academic Orientation at Bengaluru. The vision of the center is to make educational ideas of Swami Vivekananda a classroom reality. We highly appreciate his missionary zeal in spreading the message of Ramakrishna Vivekananda by conducting workshops for teachers and students in many parts of the state of Karnataka. We also acknowledge his literary skills in composing several songs on the Holy Trinity, which are being sung in many ashramas in Karnataka. In recognition of his dedicated service towards dissemination of message of Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Ma Sharada Devi and Swami Vivekananda among the Kannada-speaking people, the Ramakrishna Mission of Culture has immense joy in presenting Dr. H.N. Muralidhara the prestigious Sister Nivedita Award 2022. Thank you.
We would now like to request Mr. Srinivas Venkatram, recipient of the Vivekananda Award 2022, to please come here and share his views.
Revered Swami Suviranandaji Maharaj, General Secretary Maharaj, Revered Suparnananda Maharaj, Revered monks and members of the audience. It gives me great pleasure and I feel honored to receive such a prestigious award as the Vivekananda Award on this day, and it gives me a double pleasure because I received it at the hands of Revered G.S. Maharaj. I must first of all say that I received this award not on behalf of myself alone, but also my teammate, my colleagues who have worked with me, many of them for several years. And many of them are exceptionally well qualified, but they have dedicated their lives to taking Swamiji's ideas and spreading Swamiji's ideas in our country. So I accept this award on behalf of all of them also. When I say that we want to spread Swamiji's ideas, what do I mean? Fundamentally, what we are saying is it is about helping people solve their life's problems and assimilate Swami Vivekananda's ideas in such a way so that they can address those problems far more effectively than they have addressed before. So to us, spreading Swamiji's ideas does not mean that more people should know about his ideas alone, but that they must in some way understand it, comprehend it, apply it, and reduce it into practice in some fashion or the other, which will solve their life's problems. Now, so far in the last 25 years, we have reached out to more than 4 million people, but of different kinds, and all of them have there are different challenges in our society which need to be solved. For example, how to get the government how to get government services to be more citizen-oriented, how to get government servants to actually care about the citizens in front of them, how to get, for example, teachers to be motivated and go beyond many of the constraints that they are facing and go back to fundamentals about being lamplighters for the children whom they are teaching. How do you help slum children, for example, develop self-esteem and individuality so that they are able to feel confident and see themselves not as some bottom of some economic pyramid, but as people who are in their own right capable of infinite opportunities. How to help Swamiji's ideas enter the school system in the form of values or in the form of, and when I say values, it cannot be static moral science, but how do you get them to take Swamiji's ideas and develop what Swami Ranganathan used to call dynamic spirituality, at least to a small extent, in a small way in their lives, from wherever they are. So these are some examples of the kinds of questions that we have tried to address and deal with over the years. And to deal with these questions, what we find is that there are several sub-questions which has to be answered. Yes, if I have to achieve any of these goals, First of all, the question is what ideas of Swamiji have to be given? And if they are given, why should someone accept or learn something new? Because why should they even accept these ideas into their life? And if they accept it, how should they be able to understand it and digest it in a manner which helps them develop from where they are, so that we don't give them some remote, far-off ideals which are distant from their lives, but very close to where they are, and from there can they climb in a systematic way to the next level of their journey. And most important, how to do it on a scalable basis. Because if you take, for example, bankers, and if you talk about 200,000 bankers in a State Bank of India, or you talk about 100,000 people in railways, these are organizations and institutions we have worked with, or how do you take it across a school system, like how Ramakrishna Mission Delhi is doing it along with some of the materials that we worked with them on. Now, to do it, we also have to solve these problems on a scalable basis. So these are the challenges which are involved in translating Swami Vivekananda, spreading Swami Vivekananda's ideas, making them practical, making them absorbable, making them scalable, making them relevant in people's lives. And this is the work that essentially our team has been doing for several years. So I'd like to take one or two simple case examples with in the period that I have, just to quickly give you a sense of how this would be done. Let me take, for example, the case study of the values for school children, which we did in New Delhi. So this is called the Awakened Citizen Program, and so far now it has been delivered to more than 1 million children across 5,000 schools by Ramakrishna Mission Delhi, who's done an extraordinary job in actually embedding it in all these places. But in order to do that, the question is what kind of ideas should we be given? What does values education mean? So then we need to first of all start with the day-to-day challenges of students. It's not enough to say do this or do that, but help them respond to life, help them handle the fear before an exam, help them handle new challenges with boldness. Take an I can kind of attitude so that they can try out new things. So all these are the specific improvements that we have to carry out in their lives. And to do that, then we took the entire system of Swamiji's ideas based on Swami Ranganathan's vision of human possibilities and converted them into 18 core human possibilities which a child can awaken in the course of his or her schooling. Whether it is being heroic, whether it is living in harmony, whether it is pursuing new kinds of knowledge. There are several such human possibilities. How to engage with culture and society, how to help the child awaken all these several possibilities in a systematic way over the period of time. That became the basis of the program. So this, from Swamiji's ideas into a program which the child can carry to engage with in a class, interact with and play with the examples and absorb it into their lives, is the journey, for example, that we made in that program. So there are similar such examples, like say, for example, with when we take with petrol pump attendants, for example, which I find is always a very touching example, because they are people who, if you ask them, how do you want to serve the customers? The question was that the first question is, you will not serve anybody until you respect yourself also well, because you cannot respect others until you respect yourself. So how to give them that self-esteem? Again, you take up the ideas of Swamiji, Atma Balam, Buddhi Balam, Bahu Balam. Take a simple idea like that, help them engage and assimilate that idea in the context of their life. What Balam is relevant to me, and what strength is relevant to me, and when I do it, what happens to me? And how will I then apply that and change my thinking? And very interestingly, we found a great truth that when they did it, the first thing that they said was that because of this, I will become more honest in the way I give petrol. And so they first talked about honesty as a byproduct of strength. And that became, for example, their response to the whole thing. So these are some examples that I have just quickly shared with you to give you an example of what it involves to help people assimilate Swamiji's ideas. And what do I mean by the word spreading Swamiji's ideas? So to spread Swamiji's ideas, we have to take it to that last mile, where the individual who is in need of those ideas, but in their life, is able to rise up, take it, eat it, digest it, and become strong as a result of Swamiji's ideas. That is what is the core of spreading Swamiji's ideas, or assimilating these ideas on a scalable basis according to us. So with these few words, once again I thank the Institute for selecting me for this award. I thank you, Swami Suparnandaji Maharaj, and my regards and love and respect for Revered Swami Suviranandaji. Thank you very much.
May I now request Mrs. Debasree Roy Sarkar, daughter of late Mr. S.K. Roy, to come on the stage and share her view.
My pranam to Thakur Ma Shamiji, pranam to revered Maharaj Suviranandaji, General Secretary, Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission. Pranam to Swami Suparnandaji Maharaj, Secretary, Ramakrishna Mission Institute of Culture. My regards to all distinguished dignitaries and guests present here. On behalf of my brother, I would like to read out his speech. A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please allow me to introduce myself. At the outset, I would like to profusely apologize for being out of station and not being able to attend this event. I am really unfortunate that on this historic occasion, I am unable to be with you in person. However, my mother, my sister, my wife, and my son Uday will try to make the amends for my absence. The Vivekananda Medal, conferred posthumously upon our beloved father, Sri S.K. Roy, who was a legend revered by many in this country, leaves me with mixed feelings. It saddens me enormously that he is no more with us to witness this glorious moment and receive the award in person. It has been a rare moment for him to cherish. At the same time, I feel elated because this award has been conferred by a renowned organization that enjoys global recognition. Ramakrishna Mission is held in high esteem throughout the world. That is why this recognition by Ramakrishna Mission makes us immensely proud as a family. Our association with Ramakrishna Mission goes back from my grandfather, the founder of peerless Sri Radhesham Roy. He was a direct disciple of Sri Srima. My uncle, Sri B.K. Roy, and my father, Sri S.K. Roy, were disciples of Srimat Swami Suviranandaji Maharaj. My brother and I, we are the disciple of Srimat Swami Atmasthanandaji Maharaj. Uday, my nephew, is the disciple of Swami Vimalatmanandaji Maharaj. Instead of making this a formal speech, I would like to express my feelings very strongly. I feel that the stature and the respect that our father has enjoyed during his lifetime does not and does even now for his involvement in the social initiative has offered him a wide range of truly humanitarian service. Born in 1944, Sri Sunil Kanti Roy, popularly known as S.K. Roy, was very successful and an iconic entrepreneur who served his country with his vision to extend a helping hand to the common man. He propelled the organization's motto, Bahujana Hitaya Cha, Bahujana Sukhaya Cha, by prioritizing service to mankind above all else. And Peerless continues to do so to this day while keeping pace with the changing business scenario. He steered Peerless towards the future from 1984 as a member of the board and became its joint managing director in 1990 and managing director in 1996. Under the leadership of Mr. S.K. Roy, Peerless emerged as one of the country's leading business conglomerate and contributed into various segments. Peerless has been making its mark into various segments apart from insurance and finance that includes hospitality, healthcare, housing, and excelled in products and service. Huge employment and self-employment opportunities were created for the economic well-being of the people in all strata of the society over the course of time. A simple, modest man, Sri S.K. Roy was highly approachable as a member of various corporate and socio-cultural organizations. He served as a president of Bengal National Chamber and Industry and was an executive committee member of FICCI. He was recognized as a national and international level. He has received the Shiromani Award from Shiromani Institute in New Delhi from the hands of none other than Dr. Manmohan Singh. He was also the recipient of Rajiv Gandhi Shriti Puraskar and Doordarshan Award, which was bestowed upon him by Doordarshan Hall of Fame. He has been honored with the prestigious Padma Shri in 2019 for his contribution for the social being. He always believed giving back to society should be the motto of everybody's life. In spite of his huge responsibility as a corporate leader, he found, and what was very close to his heart was philanthropic activity. It brought him a huge relief to help people. He brought relief to thousands of people affected in natural calamity, supported a lot of talented sportsperson and women. He helped in building temples and helped in promotion of art and culture. I would like to thank you from my heart for honoring the Ramakrishna Mission, the honor the Ramakrishna Mission has bestowed upon him today. I would like to thank Ramakrishna Mission for this award, and with this we would like to pray and believe in what Swamiji said, service to man is service to God. Thank you.
I would now like to request Dr. H.N. Muralidhara, recipient of the Sister Nivedita Award, to say a few words.
At the outset, I offer my pranams to revered Swami Suviranandaji Maharaj, Swami Suparnananda Maharaj, and all other monks of the Ramakrishna Math and Mission present here. I would also like to convey my respects to Shri Srinivas Venkatram, recipient of Vivekananda Award, Mrs. Shikha Roy, and Shri Shakti Prasad Mishra. While I humbly accept the Sister Nivedita Award that is being conferred on me for the year 2022 by this great institution, I see nothing but the unqualified grace of Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Sarada Devi, and Swami Vivekananda in making me the recipient of this honor. I offer this at their holy feet. This has once again convinced me that it is only the grace that can work wonders. As far as the Ramakrishna Vivekananda literature in Kannada is concerned, the present writers like me have a historical backdrop. Even from the beginning of 20th century, Kannada literature is closely knitted with the Ramakrishna Vivekananda thought current. Records show that as early as 1898, when Swami Vivekananda was still alive, a newspaper by name Vivekananda was being published from Mysore. First Kannada biography on Sri Ramakrishna was published in 1918 by Sri T.S. Venkanaya and Professor A.R. Krishna Shastri. An earlier translation of first half of Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita had appeared in 1925. Ramakrishna Vivekananda ideology is one of the main factors which influenced Kannada literary renaissance, which is called Navodaya. The main source of inspiration for the spiritual component of this Navodaya literature is undoubtedly the life and teachings of Ramakrishna Vivekananda. It also caused a paradigm shift as far as the conceptual aspect of the literary creativity is concerned. Hitherto, the writers were committed to the philosophical framework of the religions and sects into which they were born. But the Ramakrishna Vivekananda influence changed this trait. In the place of ethnic religiosity, it induced a spirituality of the universal model with common humanity as its base. Many writers in the early and later parts of the Renaissance period were immensely influenced by Ramakrishna Vivekananda ideology. Special mention should be made of Dr. K.V. Puttappa, poetic name Kuvempu, in this context. He enriched the literature on the Holy Trio in various forms with his multifaceted creativity. The modern day poetry, epic poetry of Kuvempu, Sri Ramayana Darshanam, has its philosophical roots mainly in the teachings of Ramakrishna Vivekananda. The literature on the Holy Trio has found a place of its own in the history of modern Kannada literature. Many biographies, poems, dramas, essays, and critical writings on Ramakrishna Vivekananda published during this period vouch for this. It should be mentioned here that 4 of the Jnanapith winning writers of Kannada, namely Kuvempu, D.R. Bendre, Masti Venkatesha Iyengar, and Dr. K. Shivaram Karanth, have contributed to this literature in their own unique way. In the later period, this legacy was carried forward by writers such as Dr. G.S. Shivarudrappa and Dr. Prabhu-Shankara. In recent years, the Ramakrishna Vivekananda ideology is quite functional even apart from the literary context. The harmony of religions as practiced and preached by Sri Ramakrishna and the concept of universal religion and brotherhood as advocated by Swami Vivekananda is invariably finds a place even in the social discourses of the time. The message of Ramakrishna Vivekananda is thought of as most appropriate panacea for the problems the society at large is facing due to disharmony that is being created by divisive elements in the communities. While the life and teachings of Holy Trio are guiding thousands of aspirants in their spiritual pursuits at the personal level, it is equally true that without their inspiration, it is very difficult to establish an inclusive society where each and every belief and custom peacefully coexist with that of others. In this context, I think the devotees and admirers of the Holy Trio have some important role to perform. It is the role of erasing all the dividing lines, as Swami Ranganathananda would love to call it, on this planet and beyond. To represent Ramakrishna Vivekananda is to represent truth and harmony. It is only by propagating their life and message that a healing touch can be provided to the wounded relationships. At the personal level, I have a few things to say. It was quite accidental, to use the vocabulary of the practical world, that I came in contact with the life and teachings of the Holy Trio. It was in my college days that I came across a small booklet of Swami Vivekananda displayed by the roadside by a second-hand bookstall. It grabbed my attention to such an extent that it ultimately changed the course of my journey altogether. I was a student of philosophy and Kannada literature at the degree level. On the one hand, the study of Ramakrishna Vivekananda literature became the foundation of my philosophical understanding, and on the other, my literary background inspired me to compose poems on the Holy Trio. The Kannada translation of the songs of Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita by Dr. G.S. Shivrudruppa, who later became a Rashtrakavi of Karnataka, became an inspirational model for me. And in this endeavor, I was greatly encouraged by Swamis Purushottamanandaji, Jagadatmanandaji, and Harshanandaji, to whom I owe a lot. It is they who inspired me to translate the poems of Swami Vivekananda into Kannada in the poetic forum. Here I must acknowledge that the award that is being conferred on me has come as a pleasant surprise. I have a long way to go in this direction. Let the Holy Trio make me worthy of this honor, is my sincere prayer at their feet. Once again, I thank one and all.
I would now humbly request Revered Srimat Swami Suviranandaji Maharaj, the General Secretary of the Ramakrishna Math and the Ramakrishna Mission, to deliver his presidential address.
Namaste Yatirajayo Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Swarupayo Swamine Tapoharine. Swami Suparnandaji, the head of the Institute of Culture here, Mr. Srinivas Venkatram, he is the founder of the great institute, Illumine, headquartered at Mumbai. And then we come to Mrs. Shikha Roy, who received the posthumously given award to illustrious S.K. Roy. Mrs. Shikha Roy is his lady wife, and then of course his illustrious daughter, Mrs. Debasree Roy Sarkar, who read out, who spoke about her father, his very checkered career. And also I must mention here the daughter-in-law of S.K. Roy, Shikha Roy, Mrs. Shaturupa Roy, the rest of their family members. Here we have Dr. H.N. Muralidhara, an outstanding writer on Swamiji in Karnataka, and he has spoken wonderfully his understanding about Swamiji and also his relation with Ramakrishna Mission. And then I must also mention Sri Shakti Prasad Mishra ji, who will be proposing vote of thanks hereafter. Now, I would like to share a particular letter given by Swami Nirmalanandaji Maharaj. Why I am speaking? Because Swamiji, to many of us, to most of us, is an enigma. Either we do not try to understand Swamiji, or we can't understand Swamiji. Swamiji himself told that had there been another Vivekananda, he could have understood what this Vivekananda has done. And naturally, many of us shy away, thinking that it's not possible to understand him. But we have had the privilege of listening about him from Sri Ramakrishna himself. Now, there are several incidents. It's not possible within this short time to speak about or remember all those incidents, but one or two I will try to certainly remember. Number one, as I was telling you, that Swami Nirmalanandaji Maharaj. All of you know him. And then he writes a letter, sometimes in 1940s. Not one letter, a couple of letters. One letter addressed to Birajanandaji Maharaj, another letter addressed to Madhavanandaji Maharaj. And if I am not wrong, Swami Birajanandaji was the General Secretary of Ramakrishna Mission at the time, while Swami Madhavanandaji was an Assistant Secretary. He writes a very long letter to Birajanandaji, where he writes very, very clearly in Bengali. I hope you permit me to speak about what he wrote in Bengali first, and then I will certainly translate it in English. Nirmalanandaji writes, একদিন আমি শুনলুম যে শ্রীরামকৃষ্ণ বলরাম মন্দিরে আসিবেন। আমার বন্ধু হরি, অর্থাৎ পরবর্তীকালে তুরিয়ানন্দ, ওর সঙ্গে আমি গেলুম। সেন্ট্রাল হলে বলরাম বসুর বাড়িতে গিয়ে দেখলুম যে উনি নেই। খুব আশাহত হয়েছিলুম। চাতালে অপেক্ষা করতে লাগলুম। দেখলুম একজন ঊর্ধ্ব দৃষ্টিসম্পন্ন সাধারণ মানুষ নহে, দেখিলেই বোঝা যায় অত্যন্ত অসাধারণ, তিনি আসিতেছেন। আমাকে দেখিয়া উনি দাঁড়াইলেন, আমার দিকে তিনি দৃক্পাত করিলেন। তারপর ধীরে ধীরে তিনি কেন্দ্রীয় হলে চলে গেলেন। আমি সেখানে গেলুম, তাকে ভূমিষ্ঠ হয়ে প্রণাম করলুম। প্রণাম করবার পর আমি বললুম, আমি আপনার কাছে কৃপা চাই। তিনি বললেন, ঠিক আছে। কিন্তু তার কিছুদিন পরেই তাহার দেহত্যাগ হইল। সকাল থেকে সন্ধে পর্যন্ত আমি কাঁদলুম। কেঁদে কেঁদে একথাই বললুম যে তুমি তো সত্যবাদী, সত্য সংকল্প, তাহলে এমনটি কেন হলো? তুমি আমায় প্রতিশ্রুতি দিয়েছিলে তোমায় আমায় দীক্ষা দেবে, কিন্তু তুমি তো আমায় দীক্ষা দিলে না। তখন তিনি একজনকে দেখাইয়া বলিলেন, ইহার মাধ্যমে তোকে আমি দীক্ষা দেব, এবং সেই ব্যক্তিটি আর কেউই নয়, স্বামী বিবেকানন্দ। অতএব আমি বাঁচিয়া থাকিতে তোমরা কি করিয়া বলো যে সদানন্দ স্বামীজির প্রথম শিষ্য? এটি আমাদের কাছে আছে, এটি চিঠির আকারে বিরজানন্দজিকে তিনি লিখছেন। let me tell you in English that one day I heard that Sri Ramakrishna is coming to Balaram Bose's house, and we used to live very nearby. My boyhood friend was Hori, who was later on Swami Turiyanandaji. And now with Hori, I went to Balaram Babu's house. I thought I will meet him and I will seek his blessings. But then when I went to the central hall, I found that there is absolutely nothing like Sri Ramakrishna. Few people were sitting there, but by seeing them, I could very well understand that they are, after all, not Sri Ramakrishna. I came back. I was waiting on the courtyard of Balaram Babu's house. At the time, I found an extraordinary man, a man looking above, and was going towards that central hall. And seeing me, he stopped for a while, looked at me, and then again he went there. I followed him. As he sat there, I did pranams to him, and I asked for his blessing. Then Sri Ramakrishna nodded. But after a few days, I heard that Sri Ramakrishna has entered into Mahasamadhi. I wept right from morning till evening. And then I had the vision of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna came to me and told me, showing another person, that I will bless you through him. And that person is none other than Swami Vivekananda. Then how it is that you say that Sadananda is the first disciple of Swami Vivekananda? It is I who is the first disciple of Swami Vivekananda. Nirmalanandaji is on record, which is with us. Now, this is what Vivekananda was. Sri Ramakrishna says that he is the alter ego. Vivekananda is the alter ego of Sri Ramakrishna. If Vivekananda was the if Sri Ramakrishna was the speaker, Vivekananda was the amplifier. If Sri Ramakrishna was the science, Vivekananda was certainly the applied science. If Sri Ramakrishna was the theory, Vivekananda was its explanation. If Sri Ramakrishna was the idea, Vivekananda was the amplification. Sri Ramakrishna muttered in a very small voice, very soft voice, in a very low voice on the courtyard of Dakshineshwar, and that was spread broadcast all through the world through the amplifier called Vivekananda. So Vivekananda and Sri Ramakrishna was the obverse and reverse of the same coin. They are the two different manifestations of the same personality whom we call Ramakrishna, whom we called Swami Vivekananda, whom we called Mother Sarada Devi. I will present before you one small incident. Once it so happened, Swamiji is about to bid farewell to this mundane world, maybe a few days away from it, and then his favorite disciple, Sharatchandra Chakraborty, was there. And Swamiji, in a particular mood, asked Sharad Babu to bring the flowers and, offer it at his feet, at the feet of Swamiji, his guru. And then when Sharad Babu went to the temple, he found that all flowers were arranged for Sri Ramakrishna's worship. Hesitatingly, he came. And then he told Swamiji that all the flowers are meant for Sri Ramakrishna's worship, and how come I bring flowers from there? No, you listen to me, you bring flowers from there. He brought and he, offered it at the feet of Swamiji, and then Baburam Maharaj was coming. Baburam Maharaj was very puritanic, and very devoted to Sri Ramakrishna. He would not compromise with anything as far as Sri Ramakrishna is concerned. And then Swamiji is telling sarcastically to his disciple, he used to tell him Bengal. Bengal means the people who are from East Bengal. So, Bengal, now Baburam is coming and he will take you to the task, Swamiji is telling. And right at that time, Baburam Maharaj appeared there, and Baburam Maharaj asked Swamiji Maharaj, Swamiji, what you are telling to your disciple? Then Swamiji told everything to him. And then Baburam Maharaj told, your disciple has done the right thing, done the right thing, done the right thing. Where is the difference between you and Thakur? Absolutely no difference. Swami Vivekananda is an expression, is the manifestation of that particular entity. Once it so happened that Mother also told, look, Kali, the Divine Mother, Bhavatarini, me and Thakur, you must know them as one entity. This Mother told to Brahmachari Bimal Swami Dayanandaji Maharaj, who was the founder of Ramakrishna Mission Seva Pratishthan. Anyway, now as I was telling that, well, to understand Swamiji, we must go to Sri Ramakrishna. What he says, Sharatchandra Chakraborty, later on Swami Saradanandaji, the first secretary of Ramakrishna Mountain Mission, he wrote a beautiful book, the first biography of Sri Ramakrishna. And there he writes In Bengali, I will like to tell first because this really cannot be translated into any other language. And then I will, of course, translate it in English. In Bengali, he says, wonderful, in Lila Prasango, he says, একদিন সমাধি পথে জ্যোতির্ময় বর্তে উচ্চে আরোহণ করিতে করিতে ক্রমে দেখিলাম খণ্ড অখণ্ডের ব্যবধান ক্রমে সেই খণ্ড অখণ্ডের ব্যবধান অতিক্রম করিলাম একটি ছোট্ট বালকের বেশ ধারণপূর্বক অখণ্ডের ঘরে প্রবেশ করিলাম দেখিলাম একটি জ্যোতির্ময় বর্ত সেই জ্যোতির্ময় বর্তে প্রবেশ করিয়া দেখিলাম 7 জন ঋষি যারা ধ্যানে ও জ্ঞানে ত্যাগে ও তিতিক্ষায় দেবতাদিগকে পর্যন্ত ছাড়াইয়া গিয়াছেন তাহাদিগের অন্যতমের নিকট এই বালক অভিগমন করিল বালক সেই ঋষির গলা সস্নেহে জড়াইয়া ধরিল ঋষির নির্নিমেষ নেত্রে তাকাইয়া দেখিলেন এই বালকই তাহার হৃদয়ের ধন আমি কহিলাম ধরণীতে যাইতেছি তুমি আইসো ঋষি মৌন সম্মতি জানাইলেন দেখিলাম তাহার দেহ হইতে কি একটা পদার্থ জ্যোতির আকারে বহির্গত হইয়া পৃথিবীর দিকে ধাবমান এক্ষুনি দেখিয়া চিনিতেছি নরেন্দ্রই সেই ঋষি This is what Sri Ramakrishna says that one day in the fleet of ecstasy I went to that place where there is fencing bar between the divided zone and undivided zone and assuming the form of a small boy, I entered into the undivided zone and I found that, well, this is a world of illumination, illumined world, illumination everywhere. And then I found 7 rishis, 7 seers, 7 saints, deeply absorbed in meditation. I assuming the form of a small boy, I went to the form of a child. I went to one of them. I clasped his neck with lot of affection. The rishi, in the twinkling of an eye, saw this boy, and then I told him, I am going to the earth. You must follow me. And then the rishi conveyed to me his silent consent, and I found something very luminous coming out of his body. And now, immediately after seeing Narayan, I could accost very well that he is that rishi. Narorishir avatar, the avatar of Narorishi Narayan was Swami Vivekananda. And then again we find, in 1863, 12 January, Sri Ramakrishna is standing on the courtyard of Dakshineshwar. And he is telling in the evening, yes, it is evening, my man has come. My man Friday has come. My chief instrument has come. Amar kajer lok eshe geche. How would he come to know of it? Sitting at Dakshineshwar, he saw an illumination. Illumination emerging from Vishwanath and touching the ground of the house of Vishwanath Datta in Shimla in Kolkata. And Sri Ramakrishna immediately told, my man Friday has arrived. How could he tell it? Because he knew. Sri Ramakrishna knew that he requires someone to execute his plan. And it cannot be other than Sri Ramakrishna. That's why there's absolutely no difference between Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda. From another point of view also, Swami Vivekananda was an incarnation of Lord Shiva. And Sri Ramakrishna was Sarva Deva Devi Sarupaha. He is the embodiment of all gods and goddesses. So there is no mistake if we say that Swami Vivekananda is the alter ego of Sri Ramakrishna, and that is what Swami Vivekananda is. Now, Swami Vivekananda's appearance was a historical necessity and a divine complicity. Divine complicity, why? Because when Sri Ramakrishna completed his sadhana, then he was mandated with few mandates by Bhavatarini. And one of the very important mandate was that he will start the Juga Dharma Chakra, the wheel of Juga Dharma, which is why, I find that Sri Ramakrishna brings Narendranath from the zone of undivided, from the undivided zone, and then he is nurturing Narendranath, very carefully he is nurturing. And one day we find that he gives that wonderful concept to Narendranath, to his favorite disciple. What is that concept all about? Somebody was speaking about Seva Yoga. They were telling about S.K. Roy, about his Seva Yoga. And I will certainly try to say that why S.K. Roy, I personally consider that all these people, Srinivas ji and H.N. Muralidhara ji, both of them are doing the same Seva Yoga as S.K. Roy or his family members, his successors are doing. So, this Seva Yoga, this is the Nava Juga Dharma, which is why Vivekananda was brought by Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna is training him. Ascharya Bhakta Kusalasya Labdha, Ascharya Srota Kusala Anushishtaha. Wonderful is that man who speaks about it. Wonderful is the man who hears it and immediately realizes the meaning thereof. And that's what happened between Sri Ramakrishna and Narendranath. What happened? It was an afternoon in 1884, and then Narendranath was sitting there, Sharat Maharaj was sitting there, GC was sitting there, Girish Babu, and Sri Ramakrishna was hearing about the basic tenets of Vaishnava literature. And Sri Ramakrishna, when he heard that the basic tenet of Vaishnava literature, among other things, is Jive Daya, compassion to Jivas, he entered into ecstasy. And after quite some time, he came back from ecstasy. And he told, what nonsense you are speaking of. Who are you to do or to show compassion to others? God alone can do it. That's why they say, Devo Bhutva Devang Jajet. Anyway, Sri Ramakrishna told this. I do not know whether Sharat Maharaj understood this. I also do not know whether G.C. Girish Babu, this famous playwright of Bengal, then understood it. But one man certainly understood it. They came out of the room. Narendranath embraced Girish Ghosh and told G.C., today a new vista has opened up before me, and if God gives me the opportunity, I will declare it before the world. I will preach it unto mankind. And that is the conceptualization of the Ramakrishna Vivekananda movement. If Ramakrishna Vivekananda movement is having the Seva Yoga as the main thrust. And then what happens? We find Sri Ramakrishna has passed away. Narendranath is an itinerant monk going from one place to another all through India. And then he goes to Almora, just a few kilometers ahead of Almora in Kakrighat, under a peepal tree, tired, absolutely fatigued. Narendranath has not been taking food for quite a few days now. He took a bath, then sat below that peepal tree, and he entered into deep meditation. And after he got up from meditation, he came down to the mundane level after ecstasy, high ecstasy he entered into. He said, today one of the most intricate problems of my life has been solved. What was the intricate problem? Intricate problem was that Jive Daya, no. Compassion to Jivas, no. Jive Seva, Jive Puja. Service to men, service to worship of men. And that is what he wanted to understand for himself. He heard from his master. And then what happened? He says, one of the most intricate problems of my life has been solved today. What is there in microcosm is there in macrocosm. What is there in macrocosm is there in microcosm. What is there in individual is there in the community. And naturally, this is what we all got. Later on he says, 2 days before his departure from this world, he says his disciple, whatever entity your Thakur used to describe as God, it is nowhere. It is in man. It is in man. It is in man, Vivekananda said. So naturally, Vivekananda says that one of the most intricate problems of my life, intricate questions of my life has been answered. What is that? That if you serve God, you serve man. The man resides in God. Man is essentially God. And if you serve man, you serve God, and that is the secret of Seva Yoga. So now, conceptualization after conceptualization, he realizes it. And then he goes to the moksha of it. What is the moksha like? Implementation, actualization. What do we find? We find that Swami Vivekananda, at that time he was not Swami Vivekananda, certainly. Swami Vivekananda, he is, going to Pohari Baba in January, February 1890, during his itinerant days. And then, of course, we find that before going to Chicago Parliament, he goes to Kanyakumari in December 1892. And during these days, what happened? He went to Pohari Baba. He was with Pohari Baba for 3 days, 3 nights. He had high regards for Pohari Baba. He was very satisfied, very complacent, very happy. His heart was full after having a vision, darshan of Pohari Baba. Well, but if we stretch our imagination, if we stretch our inner eye, can we not interpret this like this? That when Vivekananda came down from Pohari Baba's ashrama to the Rajpath of Gazipur, from Gazipur to Kanyakumari for 2 years, Vivekananda saw lakhs and lakhs of Pohari Baba standing on both the sides of the street. Gazipur's Pohari Baba became Pavanahari, air-eating, because of a spiritual urge. But these lakhs and lakhs of Pohari Baba standing on both the sides of the street were those people who said, "Hum bhuke hain, we are hungry, give us a morsel of food." This is why Swamiji, when he sat on the last block of stone of India, the image of Mother India, he saw, Swamiji was so shocked. It was one of the rudest shock in his life. Unfed, almost unclad. Poor Mother India. And Swamiji says, enough is enough. Throw the bells into the Ganges. Throw the bells into the Ganges. And what did he say? I give you a new religion. I give you a new man. I give you a new scripture. What is that religion? He defined religion. He gave a new connotation to religion. And what is that all about? He said a religion which cannot give a piece of bread to a hungry man. A religion which cannot give medicine to a patient. A religion which cannot give light of education to ignorant. A religion which cannot wipe out the widow's tears. A religion which cannot stop the wells of the orphans is no religion. That's what is the religion of Vivekananda. That's what is the religion of Ramakrishna. And Vivekananda says, whether you like or you do not like, I am the prophet of this age. God has appointed me to be the prophet of this age. And the prophet says that this is the new religion. This is the new scripture. And this is the new man, Sri Ramakrishna. And what he says again? he again says that India must rise. What India Vivekananda had seen? Vivekananda saw that India where the poor people were trampled. Vivekananda saw that India when a pariah shadow is being crossed by a Brahmin, the Brahmin feels to be pure by having a dip in the Ganges. Vivekananda saw that India where a Brahmin girl, 12 years age, is married to a Kulin Brahmin old man of 80 years. While coming back, the man succumbs and the entire society claps and the entire society says, what a wonderful girl you are, how fortunate you are. This is the time that you go for Sotida Sahamaran. You die with your husband. The door of the gate will be opened and you will go to heaven. There is no doubt about it. That's the India Vivekananda saw. And that's why Vivekananda said, enough is enough. And which is why today's religion is the religion of Vivekananda. And whatever we do, we may teach, we may do relief, we may speak, we may write, we may serve people physically by giving material relief. We are doing the same thing. This is Seva Yoga, which is why Vivekananda had no hesitation to say. Vivekananda said, India will rise. India will rise, but it must sit at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna, who is the prophet of harmony. Sri Ramakrishna, who is the prophet of inclusiveness. That one must accept. And the new India that is emerging, one who has eyes to see can see, one who has ears to hear can hear. New India is emerging. Very silently it is emerging. It is the India of Ramakrishna. It is the India of Vivekananda. On this occasion, it is very great to be associated with anything that has the flavor of Vivekananda. And I must congratulate the authority of Institute of Culture for initiating or instituting this prize, Vivekananda Award and other awards, Nivedita Award, and also Vivekananda Award and Nivedita Award. I must congratulate the authorities of this institute to have decided about it, to have thought about it. And I also must express my gratitude to Swami Suparnandaji for having given me this excellent opportunity to be here this lovely evening, to be with you and to be a witness to this lovely function. I also congratulate in the same vein Srinivas of Venkatram, Ramanji. I had been there in his headquarters in Mumbai. I had been to his residence also, if my memory serves me right. And then he is great and he's doing a great job. He deserves it and he got it. And then also Muralidharaji, H.N. Muralidharaji, is doing wonderful, as I have told you, in the Kannada literature as far as Ramakrishna Vivekananda literature is concerned. And Shikha Roy. Shikha Roy is the wife of the illustrious S.K. Roy. I salute this man for his outstanding philanthropic work and this yearning, his courage, what should I say? Should I say temptation? Temptation for helping others. That is one thing I take my hats off about. And one thing I would like to share with you, I hope his family members agree with me, that this peerless, its philanthropic work perhaps was mandated by Holy Mother, because S.K. Roy's grandfather, father, Radhesham Roy, father, he was Holy Mother's disciple, and once he went to Holy Mother to become a sadhu, and it was Holy Mother who told, you have some other work to do. And this is perhaps this he was destined for. This is why I always have a statement that peerless group stands for a wonderful cause which was mandated by Holy Mother. So, At this moment, I am also equally proud that the Institute authority has so wisely selected Shikha Roy to be posthumously awarded. I congratulate all concerned, and before I wrap up, I must thank all of you who are sitting in the audience to have given me a very, very patient hearing, a very, very patient audience. And then, of course, I would wrap up by saying, which is in perfect consonance with the basic spirit of Ramakrishna mission, Ramakrishna and Vivekananda. Sarve sukhino bhavantu, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukham apnuat. Let all be happy, let all be free from ailments, let all be blessed with the vision of truth, beauty and goodness. Let misery touch none. Thank you so very much.
Our humble pranams to revered Maharaj for this illuminating lecture, his presidential address. Now I request Sri Shakti Prasad Mishra to propose the vote of thanks.
Om Ano Bhadra Kritabo Yantu Vishwataha. Let noble thoughts come to us from every side. No doubt we have had a very memorable evening, a deeply enlightening one, for which at first our grateful thanks and most respectful pranams to Srimat Swami Suviranandaji Maharaj, who has kindly presided over the award-giving ceremony today. His gracious presence has definitely heightened the grandeur and glory of this ceremony. Widely known for his administrative acumen, practical spirituality and heartwarming behavior to one and all, revered Maharaji has made certain observations which are too precious to be easily thrown away. In fact, he has given us enough food for introspection, and he has made it very clear the quintessence of Ramakrishna Vivekananda ideals is Shiva Yoga. And interestingly, hitherto unknown to most of us, perhaps all of us, he has just referred to a particular letter that was written by Swami Nirmalanandaji Maharaj, dispelling all doubts as regards whose disciple Swami Nirmalanandaji was. And he ends with the assertion of the truth that today's religion is Vivekananda's religion, and the world is increasingly going spiritual and Vivekananda way. That's great of him. Our respectful pranams to Most Revered Maharajji. Our grateful pranams to Swami Suparnananda Maharaj, the Secretary of the Institute, for his address of welcome and introductory words. Our heartfelt gratitude to Swami Chitprabhanandaji Maharaj, Swami Pranonathanandaji Maharaj, and Swami Abhedanandi Maharaj for the Vedic hymns that set the tune of the program. We are thankful and grateful to Dr. Srinivas Venkatram, the recipient of the prestigious Vivekananda Award 2022. In his address, he reiterated the urgency to take Swami Vivekananda's ideal of practical spirituality, practical Vedanta, to people of all walks of life, including teachers, students, politicians, executives, and especially referred to petrol pump employees as well. That's great of him. And he asserted that Advaita must be put in a form that even children, he referred to the children associated with the Enlightened Citizen program in Delhi and in many parts of India also, that even they can grasp it as envisaged by Swami Vivekananda, and those ideas should help the boys and girls and the people to solve their problems they are facing in their workaday life. And we express our humble gratefulness and sincere thanks to, I would say, peerless Janoni, Srimati Shikha Roy, who very kindly received Vivekananda Medal, richly deserved by the illustrious corporate personality and philanthropist departed Sri S.K. Roy. We are also thankful to Sri Jayanta Roy and his sister Srimati Debasree Roy Sarkar for the very emotive speech referring to long association of Peerless under Sri Radhashyam Roy and Sri S.K. Roy with Ramakrishna mission. No doubt that Peerless under Roy family stands a very great future. Our thanks a lot to Dr. H.N. Muralidhara, recipient of Sister Nivedita Award 2022. He has traced the origin of a literary flow on Sri Ramakrishna Vivekananda in Kannada, while boldly asserting that Ramakrishna Vivekananda ideals offer an appropriate panacea to social and political evils in the society. We take this opportunity to express our gratitude to the honorable members of the selection committee for their labor of love. Deserving thanks also to Shayok, Sri Shayok Chakraborty, for anchoring the program. Last but never the least, our heartfelt thanks and pranams to the monks and brahmachari of the Ramakrishna order for their benign presence, and of course, yes, also to the honorable members of the audience. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So we end today's program here. Our thanks to everyone, and also a special announcement. There is an arrangement for Prasad outside the Vivekananda Hall. So we would like to request everyone to have that. Thank you. Namaskar.